Hi everyone, this is the continuation of the fabric stash review of my Fat Eighths. This is Melissa with Stitching Memories, and I'm in process of organizing, reorganizing my stash, and why I have certain pieces of it out, I'll video. So if I'm working on something, organizing it, then I'll try and video it for you. I don't have all of it in one place at one time to be able to do my whole stash at once. Plus I'm not able to speak for a long period of time without running out of air. So that's another reason for kind of my shorter videos. So we're going to start off with a 28 count. This is a beautiful candy cane stripe is what it reminds me of. It's fabric flare. I don't know what I was going to stitch on it. I just know I had to have it. This is a 40 count vintage light exemplar. This I have for a couple of different vintage, or I'm sorry, not vintage, primitive pieces. Probably some primitive hair pieces that I'll be stitching on that. This is a 28 count blue. And I keep wanting to say this is Bolingbrook, but I know it's not Bolingbrook because I have a very large piece of Bolingbrook that I'm doing my Brooks Book Publishing Advent calendar on, and it doesn't look like this. So I don't know what that is anymore. This is an opalescent 28 count. Oops, trying to pick up two pieces of fabric. This is, I think they call this raw as the base brown shade, and then the red is the check, and then it's opalescent. I think that's fabric flare. A lot of these I have lost the tags to when I purchased it, or they were given to me by friends who didn't keep the tags. So if I'm able to determine the count by counting how many stitches in a square inch, then I do that. And if I know what the fabric's name is, then I give that. If I don't give the name, I have no clue. So if any of you recognize something, let me know. I have two pieces of this next fabric. This is Moon Glow, and if you watched my two pieces. If you watched my previous video, I did state that I'm not really into yellow as a decor color. But I'm beginning to like it as a craft color. This is R&R 30 count Gardener's Blend. It's kind of a more gold than yellow, but not opalescent and not highly variegated or mottled. This is a Labash Shell, kind of tones of orange, light orange is the best way that I can describe it. This is a 32 count Mount Baker Blue. This is a Lakeside Linen. Very pale, kind of what I would call maybe baby's blue. The next is a 30 count Cherry Vanilla from Weeks Dye Works. As you all can tell, I'm all over the map as far as colors. And that's pretty much how I am. So far, I like pretty much everything I'm seeing. Just kind of grab it all up. Because I can think of something that I would make for a friend, something I would make for a loved one, and maybe a few things for myself on some of these. This is a Star Sapphire Lugana. It's 32 count. It's kind of a blue slate gray color. This is Heroic, and Heroic I've seen a lot of people use for their Americana pieces, 4th of July. It's a 32 count Belfast linen. It is, I know the Belfast means 32 count, but anyway, and Cashel means 28. I'm starting to learn these things. I'm actually starting to learn these things, which is kind of scary. But there's this whole new language that I'm learning. The Heroic, though, in addition to doing Americana pieces on, which I love, I'm actually thinking that I may do some more kind of primitive side pieces, so that the fabric will be my boldness and the stitching will be my softness. I don't know what I'll end up doing, but that's kind of some thoughts I've had. This is a 32 count linen. This is Stony Point. I love Stony Point. It is a blue-green. It is a blue-gray. It's a beautiful mid-tone green-based fabric, and I just see lots of possibilities. This is a 36 count Edinburgh cream linen, and so I'm kind of confused because I see some shops or places listed as Edinburgh and some as Edinburgh, so I'd really like to know which is correct. I understand 36 equals either Edinburgh or Edinburgh, so I'd like to know which. And then if it's Edinburgh, which of the spellings is correct? The O-U-G-H spelling or the O-R-O spelling? Or does any of that matter? I don't know. This is a 35 count 18th century rook by R&R, and it's very wrinkled, but I love this rich dark gray brown base. In some light it's definitely brown. In the back side of it kind of has tints of an olive nature to it, but then in other light it looks a little grayish, like a dark gray. So I'm going to count that as a neutral and have fun with it. This is a 40 count 18th century brown, and this is R&R again. So I love here that I have some neutrals in addition to all the color that we've seen. This is a 40 count vintage pear, and no, it's not yellow, it's definitely a brown base. And I haven't started working with 40 count yet, but I can't wait to practice with it. This is kind of one of my new favorite finds. This is Vintage Autumn Gold by Lakeside, and this is a 40 count. I'd love to get this on some other counts because I think that this will be so much fun. I envision lots of autumny type things stitched on that. This is a 40 count Luna. It's a thin, pretty thin piece of fabric, and it's, oops, there we go. It's a yellow base, but you know, Luna, you definitely think of a moon, so I'm probably anticipating I might be putting a Halloween piece on that, where originally I was thinking I was going to put a spring piece. So I can't wait to see what I end up doing with that. An 18 count Floba. I'm finding I get a lot of this. I love it. I love the texture of it. I love the ease of seeing the holes. I love the I kind of just like everything about this Floba. It's going to be used for those items when, you know, my eyes are just tired and my hands are tired of dealing with kind of some of the stress of some of the other fabrics. This is one that I can stitch in hand with and not lose where I'm at and not wrinkle it up so bad that I can't get the wrinkles out later. This is a Opal Celtic. Oh, here's Edinburgh spelled yet the third way. So here's the third way of spelling Edinburgh. So we have the B-E-R-G, we have the B-U-R-G-H, and the B-U-R-G. This is a 36 count opalescent Celtic or Celtic. I say Celtic, but I might be wrong. This is kind of a pink and white and cream variegated fabric. Okay, this next one, when I looked at it earlier, I thought it was a brown variegation, but now looking at it, I think it's purple. So maybe it's a brownish purple, purplish brown. Kind of resembling Picture This Plus by the feel and the kind of look of it, but I have no clue. So if anybody has seen this fabric, and if you can let me know what it is, I'd be really interested to find out, if one, if it's purple, and two, if it's brown. And of course, you probably can't tell any of that from my camera. So this is Cauldron. Cauldron is the pattern of the over dye, and I think it's Picture This Plus. Again, not sure. I know that a lot of these manufacturers may use a similar name for colors that are very different. So one designer may have one name and it's a completely different color from another designer's color of the same name. So that's going to confuse me as a new stitcher. I still count myself new. It's only been a year and 2 months. I still consider myself new. I have so much to learn, and all of you are helping me with that. So please continue to do so. I appreciate all the comments. I appreciate all the suggestions and the public messages and the private messages. All of that is welcome. This next one is a cocoa. This is Weeks Dye Work. I've been waiting for this fabric. This was on back order forever. And it just came in, so I'm excited about cocoa. I have plans for it. Okay, so here's another pink, very light pink, very pale pink. Probably fabric flare by the feel, but I don't know that I know enough to judge by the feel. I just think I do. Again, this is one I think might be Picture This Plus, but again, not sure. This is another pink with a light pink variegation in it. I know this is Monaco. This is the Antique White Monaco. I think it's 28 count. And if you've noticed the edges, I am blessed with a needle workshop that will serge the edges of fabric that is purchased there. And the ones that were given to me by a friend, she was able to serge them as well. And then I had another shop that was able to just run a running stitch around the outside. All of these things help me because I do not have a sewing machine. Can't sew a straight line on my own, and don't know how to hand sew a zigzag, so, or overlock or any of those things. So I have lots of learning to do. This is a 28 count sandstone tea linen. I have 2 pieces of this. They're very similar, yet one is probably a whole shade darker than the other. So that's kind of it for my Fat 8s. I'm sure I will have other fabric videos as I go through more of my fabrics. Plus I have some on order, so I'll probably have to do, what do they call that, a haul video, I guess, when those come in, or a stash update. I don't really know what to title these things. I think I'm just making titles up as I go. I will probably also later on today or tomorrow have another pattern stash review. I'm in the middle of, I have a whole stack of them sitting in front of me right now that I'm in the middle of entering into my spreadsheet program. So once I have that done, I'll get those out as well. So everybody enjoy stitching your memories. Have a great day.